Merry Meetle. Another video vlog today. Just repeated video log. Or another vlog today. And I'm going to do a 13 energy saving tips in the kitchen. Why? So why do you want to limit the amount of money you have to spend on your bills? Well, obviously financial freedom, but also independence. Why? The more reliant you are on these things, the easier it is for them to take it away and control you by making you scared of them taking it away, that sort of thing. So holding you hostage. So this is why I think everybody should be limiting their usage. I mean, I've got the light on in the kitchen now only because I'm recording. If I turn the light off, you're not going to see much in here. It's pretty dark. So here's 13 to get you started if you've never thought about it, or you are now starting to think, hang on, this is getting ridiculous. We're not even winter yet and the cost of the bill is just insane. All right, so let's hit it out the park. Overnight oats. I love my rolled oats. I don't eat instant oats. Don't eat instant oats. You want to get the whole rolled oats. Soak them overnight. So instead of having to use the stovetop elements or to cook outside, all you need to do is pour water over the top. Now you can pour hot water or cold water. Personally, I still pour hot water. You could argue, well, you're using energy to boil the water. Well, whoopie-doo. Boiling the kettle for 5 seconds is not equivalent to long, slow stovetop cooking in my cast iron pot, is it? And the other thing too is to make multiple serves at once. Not, you know, you don't want to be cooking every day, but you also don't want to be making serves every day. If you can whack at least half the week out the park straight away, then that's time that you're saving. So your own energy time is also valuable. So why waste it where you don't need to waste it, especially with stuff that's mundane that you rely on in part of being healthy and functioning. So overnight oats, what do I have in mine? I just have water, and I've got some calendula. I love calendula flower petals in my oats. I also have cornflowers, and I've just run out of my orange peel powder, which also has vitamin C in it naturally, and I've got a whole bag of orange peels to get blended that I've got to process today, so I can top that up. And my favourite cinnamon is actually Dutch cinnamon. Yum. We all love it. We're all a fan. My rooster and the boys tend to really love the Dutch cinnamon. You know, my drakes and my roosters. It's so cute. So anyway, and I basically just stir it through. I fill up, this is like 1 cup of oats, rolled oats, with at least 2 cups of hot water that I put in there last night before it started to get dark. And I just stirred through a pinch of this, a pinch of that, and a pinch of raw sugar. You don't have to use sugar. I like my carbs. I don't care if they're simple or complex. I'll eat my carbs, thank you. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so just stir and then just leave it there, and that's it. That means you also don't have to cook. So save your time and also on the bill. Number 2. Okay. Big one. I had a habit of, let me have a sip. That's nice. Of pouring a cup of tea straight from the teapot every time I wanted a cup of tea. Well, yes, Miss Fox, that's my cat, not me. Use teapots, at least a 4-cup capacity or 1 litre capacity teapot. Even better, a billy pot. This is a 2.7 litre capacity. There's 2 things that will be better from doing this opposed to pouring the cup when you want it. Is you're going to save money on, this is a whole about saving money and cost on electricity and bills. This is what this post is pretty much about. You'll save money because you're only doing it once opposed to 4 times. But also is better for you, especially if you're having herbal teas, because when it comes to herbal medicine, it's not about taking a little freaking herbal tablet or a tincture and then that's it. No, it's the repeated doses. So when it comes to things such as teas or tisanes, it's about consuming that tea all day as if it was your new water, if you like. And in that process, it's sitting, the herbs are sitting in that water, and all the properties are getting leached out. So that's how you're supposed to have herbal medicine when it comes to having a tea, is those multiple cups in a day. So what better way to do that than to have, nearly a 3-litre pot here all made up, and you just pour as you go throughout the day. That way you won't forget that you're having this herb and that you need to keep topping up, and 2, you'll save money. And on that note too, now I love teapot cozies. They're not just pretty, but they actually help to keep the tea warm in the pot. I don't have any for these 2 billy pot, or it's actually a coffee plunger. I do like a coffee plunger because I can squeeze and agitate the water for the herbal properties. It's actually my preference to a straight typical teapot is using a coffee plunger like this, just to be able to get all the properties out. And also you separate the leaves from the drinking water, and they're just sitting there all that time. And you can also top that up as well and get every last bit of property out of those tea leaves or whatever plants you have in there. But yeah, I don't have tea cozies for those teapot cozies, so I want to make some, but I do need to get some wool. I prefer to use wool with this sort of thing because the whole point is to keep the warmth in there, and nothing's going to do that better than wool. And I'll most likely get a wool mix, so something with synthetic wool and synthetic, just for longer lasting, and also so it keeps its shape a little bit more. If I just use pure wool, it will not only felt, but it might shrink and lose its shape. It won't be as hardy, especially close to hot surfaces, unless you felt the wool. But I don't want to go through that. I just want to knit or crochet the thing. I'll probably knit it because I want to close the stitch. But yeah, stay tuned for that. I'll do that at some point. Okay, moving on. Number 3. When it comes to cooking your legumes, even if you have a slow cooker like I've got here, soak them overnight, and the capacity of the cooker will be double. That means you only have to cook in half the time. Also, natural light. Number 4, use natural light. So as soon as it gets dark, if you've got dishes in the sink and it's dark and you've got cooking to do and things to do in the kitchen, then you haven't really maximized your time. Make sure to get that stuff done while there's daylight. And yeah, so use natural light. That way you're not having to use overhead light. Rinse your dishes as you go. So I've just been cooking now, getting stuff done, and these dishes are semi-rinsed. That means when I do actually wash them, it'll be easier. I'm not scrubbing at anything. And especially with things like eggs or anything from coming outside, I do like hot water and dishwashing liquid, because you don't want to stuff around with things such as strep or bacteria that can make you sick. Nothing worse than having shit to do and you get a strep throat or something like that. Also, eggs. So where I store my eggs is in the bread basket. I don't really consume bread unless I'm doing stovetop bread in a skillet. And I've just got ice cube trays. That's my ducks, and this is my chickens, and I just store them in there. Now I don't have to wash or clean my duck eggs. Look at that. There is a secret, but my battery is flashing, so I'm going to rush through this. I'll share that another time. That way you're not having to store them in the fridge. They will keep if you don't wash them. When you go to use them, I will still wash them though. Supplement your egg shells to your birds. I did a previous post on that, so just watch that. Sun tea. You don't have to boil the kettle. Just fill up a couple of pint jugs with water and put in your tea leaves. Try and go for tea leaves that don't have the tags, that are unbleached. You'll save on, it's better for the environment. You're not using excess paper, staples, and so I'd go for those sorts of tea bags if you can get them. Also, turn your kitchen appliances off from the switch. Don't just have them sitting there waiting. Says a lot for this smart stuff, doesn't it? You don't want that. And the Teapot cozies was one of my energy saving tips. And the next one is coconut cream. So I actually use coconut cream. 1 can of coconut cream equals 2 litres of coconut milk for me. But what I also do is I freeze the made up. So I pour the can in the 2 litre jug, fill it with water, stir it well, pour it into an ice cube tray, and put it in the freezer for single serves of coconut milk, because I'm not going to drink 2 litres of coconut milk in 2 days, you know what I mean? And also put some in a small jug for the small amounts. There's that one. So freeze in your cubes. So that's 2. Save on cost and energy by turning coconut cream into milk instead of buying coconut milk, and then to use ice cube trays to freeze serves. And last but not least, when you bake, do multiple bakes at once or in one go. Have a baking session. Don't bake something small every day. Use every single damn shelf and then bake in succession. The oven's still hot, so just knock it out the park, and you'll save costs because you're not having to get the oven to heat itself again and all that sort of thing. So there are my 13 energy saving tips in the kitchen. If you're not doing any of them, I hope they help you and save a bit of money, because at the end of the day, if you can limit your reliance on things that they are jacking up the prices on, then you won't be held hostage to their whims. Yeah, that's I guess what it's all about, is freedom and independence. Blessed be and merry part.